China, Tzu Chi volunteers carried out home visitations in Jiangsu Province to check on cataract patients' recovery. Tzu Chi volunteers in eastern Taiwan held a blessing ceremony to teach members of the public how to observe the 7th lunar month in the correct manner. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. In Guanyun County, Jiangsu, over the past 3 years, China Tzu Chi volunteers have provided free cataract surgery to countless troubled seniors. This year alone, the vision program helped 800 residents regain their vision. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers carried out home visitations to check on the patient's recovery.
This grandma shows the volunteers how she can now do needlework following her cataract surgery. Tzu Chi has carried out its vision program in Guanyun County for 3 years now, helping over 800 senior residents this year alone. Without the means to make ends meet, without Tzu Chi, these seniors would have never been able to regain their sight. Not surprisingly, they are overjoyed to see the volunteers once again. The contagious smiles of the seniors touch many of the volunteers, including teacher Fei Zhenhe, who is a first-timer in the vision program.
I feel extremely happy. Joining Tzu Chi's events, I feel very happy.
Staff at the Guanyun Disabled Persons Federation also team up with the volunteers to carry out home visitations. Among them is Zhang Hualan, who has found inner joy from taking part in Tzu Chi's events.
Taking part in the Vision program gives me immense joy. I am proud to say that I am part of the Tzu Chi program and that this is such respected work.
Art Federation needs to mobilize to help too. Thanks to Tzu Chi, there are more and more people starting to care for cataract patients.
With Tzu Chi's help, these seniors have not only regained their vision, but are also enjoying better and brighter days ahead.
In Zhangzhou of China's Fujian province, Tzu Chi care recipient Chen Xianyu has been bedridden since her legs were crushed by a tree 20 years ago. Despite the ordeal, Chen's outlook on life remains optimistic. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers paid her a visit and helped her clean up her house.
In China's Fujian, although Chen Xianyu's home is only 13 square meters large, everything is organized and orderly. Bedridden for 20 years, Chen's legs were crushed by a falling tree during a typhoon.
In a blink of an eye, another day passes.
When we first visited her, she was much better off than we originally thought because she's very optimistic about her life. Her heart is in the right place. Her upbeat demeanor is often the first impression many have about Chen. Knowing the recipient could use a hand in cleaning, today the volunteers come to help, making sure no corner is left dusty. Even the fan was given a good scrub. Although giving, it is really the volunteers who are reaping the benefits. I used to hire someone to clean my home, but after joining Tzu Chi, I will clean it myself now.
I like it because it's very clean.
Wanting to express her gratitude, Chen starts crafting a flower. This handiwork is her bread and butter. It may not seem like much, but it is filled with plenty of love. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This represents her love. The volunteers spent 2 hours cleaning Chen's home, which in the end was time also spent cleansing their hearts.
Since 2010, team members from Southern California have been organizing biannual free clinics in the community of Fallbrook, San Diego. Recently, on July 13th, they joined local Tzu Chi volunteers to hold another free clinic and help 131 patients receive much-needed treatment.
Today, Tima doctors arrived at the St. Peter's Catholic Church in Fallbrook to provide medical services. At the waiting area, patients fill out registration forms. Medical volunteers say local residents have been looking forward to today's event since the last free clinic.
And it's nice to know that if it's every 6 months or every 8 months, they can come for some good care. And there's an excellent record that's maintained.
While the Tzu Chi Vision Mobile Clinic is also well received by local residents.
I volunteered for social services in San Diego County a lot, and I've seen very few people doing dental work, and there's such a great need for it.
In this farming community, most of the residents are poor and without health insurance. Thanks to Tzu Chi, they can keep a closer look on their own health conditions.
2 years ago, Jiangsu Province Dharma Master DaAi met Sister Bernadette Racadio, who is a nun from the Philippines, at a conference in Taiwan, recently to gain a better understanding of the Buddhist NGO's effort in building prefab homes for high-end survivors. Sister Racadio decided to visit the construction site at Sanxia District near Taipei City. Jiangsu Province Dharma Master DaAi has brought Sister Bernadette Racadio from the Philippines to Tzu Chi's construction site at Sanxia District near Taipei City to check on the progress of prefabricated houses for those devastated by Typhoon Haiyan.
We will install window screens on the house so insects won't be able to get in.
Shaking the steel frame, Sister Racadio realized that though it may appear light, but it's actually very sturdy.
Your heart is as strong as this building, but even stronger because you do not stop helping the poor.
We met at a conference held at Kaohsiung City 2 years ago. She was very curious about Tzu Chi's humanistic teachings. After the meeting, both of us want to gain a better understanding of each other's religious views on great love.
At the end of their trip, Sister Racadio and Dharma Master DaAi both tried their hands at making the steel beams. Their collective effort shows that love has no boundaries. In Tainan, Taiwan, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer Liao Haihong. Before joining the Buddhist NGO, Liao used to invest in the stock market, which affected his mood and relationship with his family. Under the encouragement of his daughter, Liao started watching DaAi TV and practicing recycling. Knowing that there wasn't a recycling station in Xinying district, the Liao family purchased a piece of land to establish the Tzu Chi Xinying recycling station. Early in the morning, Tzu Chi volunteer Liao Haihong is driving to the Tzu Chi Xinying recycling station. As soon as he arrives at the station, he quickly swipes the floor. Liao says the recycling station is his second home. Greeting everyone with a smile, every day Liao Haihong sees every chance to volunteer at the recycling station. He says his affinity with the Buddhist NGO started because of DaAi TV.
When I was watching DaAi TV, I heard the master said that we help others with our palms down, that we ask for help with our palms up, and that helping brings happiness while begging brings pain.
Through watching DaAi TV, Liao Haihong has learned to repent for his bad habits and even rediscovered the meaning of life.
I always watch the show Grassroots Body and Life Wisdom. Tzu Chi's international relief mission and recycling concept are very meaningful. Before, when I used to invest in the stock market, my mood was always going up and down. I had a lot of arguments with my wife.
With a change of mindset, Liao stopped investing in the stock market. Also, with the support of his sons, the Liao family decided to purchase a piece of land to establish the Tzu Chi Xinying recycling station.
My wife and I, along with our daughter, purchased this piece of land. Both of my sons paid the building fees. After practicing recycling, I realized that I needed to be content. Now I'm very grateful and willing to give selflessly because my sons are doing well in business too.
Gaining tremendous joy from selfless giving. Thanks to Tzu Chi, Liao has discovered that those who lead content lives are the truly wealthy. We continue our series on domestic violence and bring you the story of Miss Chen. Thanks to the Garden of Hope Foundation, Miss Chen and her daughter are finally living a normal life.
Foreign bride from Vietnam, Miss Chen was a victim of domestic violence. All alone in a foreign land, she did not know who to turn to, and none of her neighbors cared. Thankfully, there was the Garden of Hope Foundation.
When
we decided to meet up at an MRT station, we had no idea what each other looked like. So I asked her, what kind of clothes will you wear? Will you be bringing your kid? She brought along her 5-year-old daughter and was really nervous. She kept looking around while her daughter held onto a stuffed panda tightly.
Finally, someone was willing to listen.
那时候在家里的时候，他喝酒，然后回来因为不太 OK。
It started when he came home drunk because he was having a bad date and he just vented his frustrations on me. He started throwing things at me and then started to hit me. I screamed really loud, but no one did anything. I ran to my neighbors, but they did nothing. The beating went on for years. I just couldn't take it anymore. He just ignored my plea. My child kept asking, "Mommy, why does Daddy hit you all the time?" I just couldn't let my daughter live in that kind of environment and decided to leave.
Miss Chen's pent-up emotions finally found a release.
She would go through an emotional roller coaster every time she had to appear in court. When she came back, she would begin to scream and cry. I would try to console her or even scream along with her so she could vent.
The foundation also sheltered Miss Chen.
那个时候警察来，然后把我带走。后来那个。
When the police came to take me away, the Garden of Hope Foundation had also arranged a shelter for me as I had no one to turn to in Taiwan, so I started living in the shelter.
In a safe house, victims can at least be protected.
We talked to her on the phone about living in a shelter, but over the phone line, even though she was already inside the police station, we could still hear her husband screaming outside. We were really nervous and wondered if we should go over there, as we feared for our own safety as well. We only showed up after the police assured us her husband had left. After making sure we weren't being followed, we took her to the shelter.
Victims also have the time and space to restart their life.
At first, I felt uneasy as I had spent all my time in Taiwan at my husband's home, but there were other victims of abuse at the shelters, so I quickly got comfortable. We were safe.
Unfortunately, society needs to learn to be supportive of battered women as well.
When she tried to rent a place, no landlord wanted to rent to her because society has the stereotype about beaten women. They thought she couldn't make ends meet because she has a child to care for.
Miss Chen has now proved herself and left her past behind.
I'm divorced now and have a stable job. I just want to raise my child properly here in Taiwan. I don't want her to remember those days when I was beaten by my ex-husband. Those days are gone. I just want to forget them. I don't ever want to go back.
With the support of social workers and society, no one should have to be a victim of domestic abuse.
As the 7th lunar month or Ghost Month is approaching, typically in Taiwan, large-scale voodoo rituals will be held where joss papers are burned and extravagant banquets are held to appease the dead. However, the founder of the Tzu Chi Foundation, Master Zheng, does not believe that is what true deliverance is.
In Hualien, Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a prayer ceremony for telecommunications companies. Master Zheng asked all to truly comprehend the true meaning of voodoo, which means deliverance.
I try to imagine what it would be like if I were in the animal's place. It helps me empathize with the animals being butchered.
In Taiwan, more than $333 million worth of joss paper, is burned annually. Surprised by the figure, many present decided to donate the money they have originally set aside for joss paper.
Every month, we can donate the money we use to buy joss paper, chicken, fish, or pork to help those truly in need. That's what true charity work is about.
Over in Tzu Chi, Taiwan, a similar ceremony is organized for members of public to help protect the planet.
We
can use flowers and fruits as offerings instead of killing animals. We can retain our tradition without a loss of life. I think that's another way to show our love for the planet.
Reducing the burning of joss paper can reduce carbon emissions and therefore fight global warming.
The weather has been so hot, the planet needs more trees. I think we need to reduce the amount of joss paper and incense we burn to better protect the planet.
It is also important to endorse vegetarianism, so we may help protect lives and reduce our carbon footprint.
In the days following the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 incident, members of the public witnessed the power of Tzu Chi's compassion, which further inspired many to join the Buddhist NGO. Subsequently, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia held a training seminar for new recruits at the Kuala Lumpur Jiangsu Hall.
Palms together, then bowing at 90 degrees, each action is carried out in an orderly fashion. As the number of volunteers in Malaysia increases, to bring out the beauty and discipline as a group, volunteer training seminars are the key.
We hope there will be more kind-hearted people in society. The more kind-hearted people there are means fewer bad people. So if we want people to acknowledge our organization, we need to start from with ourselves.
Every person has innate kindness. However, while doing good deeds, one also needs to cultivate good character and temperament. Having just recently moved back from Australia, Zhou Hongwei remains steadfast in his commitment to give back to society.
After seeing the video clips and hearing the brothers and sisters sharing, I was extremely moved. I'm now more determined than ever to serve.
Charitable giving is not limited to those who are fit and healthy only. Even in spite of his disabilities, with determination, volunteer Yu Guoen seizes the opportunity to encourage others to do good deeds.
I've always felt that even those with disabilities have the ability to contribute to society. Even if it's just contributing a little bit, they're already giving all they can. We should treasure each moment to serve.
Just like little drops of water can make a mighty ocean, the strength of volunteers, when combined, will have the power to harmonize our society.
In Taiwan 2 years ago, Tzu Chi started promoting the drinking of tea instead of alcohol to encourage residents in Hualien's Wanrong Township to live a healthier lifestyle. To reciprocate Tzu Chi's care, local residents began to take on recycling in their villages. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a tea gathering to thank these recycling volunteers for their hard work and seize the chance to teach them more recycling tips.
Since 2012, Tzu Chi has been promoting the concept of replacing liquor with tea in Hualien. To reciprocate, local residents decided to take on the responsibility of recycling in their communities.
The Tzu Chi Foundation has shown their love and support to our tribes, so we want to give back. We don't have money for a donation, so we took on recycling to reciprocate Tzu Chi's love.
At the recent tea gathering for recycling volunteers, Tzu Chi volunteers seized the chance to teach local residents more about environmental practices.
Today's tea gathering is to give local recycling volunteers an opportunity to learn environmental concepts and help them gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi.
Having collected recyclables for nearly a decade, 78-year-old Grandma Yang is unable to personally sort recyclables, but she still asks others to help her.
We need to protect our earth to help the less fortunate.
A dance performed by senior residents brings everyone's heart closer. After today's event, the some 80 participants will bring Tzu Chi's message back home and inspire those close to them to join their ranks.
In Taiwan, to help make children's summer vacation more meaningful, Taipei Tzu Chi volunteers have designed 7 different curriculums for each week of summer break. While in China, the Tzu Chi Kunshan Grants in Jiangsu invited children over for a 4-day camp.
During summer break, most children in China like to stay at home, crank up the AC, and watch TV. But Tzu Chi's summer camp in Kunshan has kids sorting recyclables instead.
好臭，想做是想做，可好累，而且好热。
At the summer camp, children are learning proper value instead of simply looking to have fun.
This is a great activity. Hopefully, seeds of goodness will be planted in their hearts.
Children are not the only ones who are learning. On the last day of the camp, parents are invited to participate and learn about environmental conservation through recycling.
They were so disorganized and undisciplined on the first day, but slowly they began to pay attention to their appearance and conduct. To witness their transformation brings us immense joy.
It is evident how the children have grown in the 4-day camp. Besides a play promoting conservation, the children also serve tea to their parents, who cry tears of joy.
When you are touched, tears will just fall uncontrollably. You just can't help it.
At the end, each child walks away knowing the importance of doing good deeds and honoring their parents. Meanwhile, at a similar camp in Taipei, students are learning to make a vegetarian dish.
If you want to learn how to cook, it's best to ask your grandmother. She can help with the seasoning. I learned how to cut vegetables from my grandma.
Supervised by volunteers, the young children learn what it is like to be a chef. Nervously cutting with a knife and peeling with a peeler, they finally understand their mother's hardship.
My mom is worn out by chores every day.
A bride from Vietnam, Miss Ran has been in Taiwan for a decade. In Tzu Chi, she found spiritual support and a way to teach her child.
You have to let your children learn to wash vegetables and do things on their own, so they will learn to be independent.
Teachers are on a summer break now, so we have created a lovely environment for children to come and enjoy.
The program will be different each week for the summer break, so children can take in many different lessons.
We go back to Malaysia at the end of the show. Tzu Chi volunteers visited a village in Malacca to tend to those affected by a recent fire. As many survivors lost all their belongings in the incident, volunteers thoughtfully provided them with consolation cash. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.